We're Fever 333 here at Rockabilia. Thanks for having us.
We are the melanin felons, we are the product of the Roadrunner policy that you gotta love. Casinos, amigos on 40 acres of. They built the shit on our backs, made in America. Living in terror while they terrorize. Cover your eyes, cause people terrified. Fuck all the promises you were promised, cause they're cutting your oxygen till you're paralyzed. Where do we live?
First Love Tour 2019 US leg, and it's been amazing. I mean, Eric and I basically grew up with listening to Thrice. They're a Southern California band. They were kind of the first band of our, I guess, generation to break from that mold that was like our scene into bigger things, radio, and then they expanded their whole repertoire into something even like further than scene music, I suppose. And they did it in a really amazing way, so that's been amazing. And Bring Me the Horizon, Steven and I have known the guys prior to this show, this tour, excuse me, for years, and we've watched them evolve. We've, you know, kept the relationship with them, and being able to know them personally, and then to watch what they've done as a band, artistically, sonically in their actual records, as well as them on the live setting, is just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. They're so ahead of this curve, and that's the one thing I always tell people about this band, is that they have questions, is that this band has their finger on the pulse, and they're actively trying to push rock music forward.
Made in America, we made in America. Made in America, we made in America.
Yeah, the Grammy thing's cool, aside from like him getting it no matter what. The idea of it is cool because, you know, I think that the Grammys is a rather patterned and homogenous system. I think that the Recording Academy has, for I don't know, decades now, been picking the same type of band as far as rock music is concerned, while the rest of music has been evolving and changing. You see things, different things taking the titles of alternative or hip hop or pop, or, you know, we're able to sort of cross-pollinate. With rock, I feel as though there's been this effort, which has been a damaging effort, to keep it one way, and that's not what rock music is. Rock music was never one way. It evolved itself from adversity, subversion, excitement, a little bit of danger, and for them to continue to pick things that they feel like are safe bets, I think have been damaging to rock music and its survival. So with them picking a band with, you know, a couple people of color in it, a mixed bag of artists and genres, something that is not typical historically to the category that we're nominated for, I think it shows that, you know, that things are changing. And if that's all we offer is just a notion that things can be different, and you can, if we can offer representation to other artists and bands within the guitar-based or rock world, I think that's very important. And ultimately, the platform for us to continue with the messaging and our messaging and our belief that all the power does lie with the people, and we are here to create like a sonic rendition of that idea, you know, through a soundtrack. But ultimately, this is about the people. So we just continue on that path, and we continue with that messaging.
Coming in, motherfucker, coming in, motherfucker, coming in, motherfucker, coming in. We're gonna take you out, we're gonna take you out. It's just a false American nothing. We're coming in, motherfucker, coming in.
I feel like we have a lot of similar tastes, and then a lot of very eclectic influences, and we kind of just, while we're creating, go through them and talk about what makes those important and effective, and really try and focus on doing it the right way and doing it justice, and not feeling like we're just borrowing, but actually taking from the things that we're fans of and making them unique to our voice. And it's been cool because I think we've all been in projects where we've kind of had to struggle to get those influences in there and actually have any kind of real presence. And with this band, that's kind of the exciting part. And I think we just started off knowing that that's what we needed to do.
We all fall on the same line when it comes to, you know, what we think is overall worth people's time with music and art. And you just got to be tasteful, man. Like you can't just be genre sampling. You have to live that, because these things it's culture. So that's what we believe. We believe all this is culture. It's part of the culture. It's not just something that we put on while we're washing dishes or like running. You know what I'm saying? Like these are like lives that we've lived. And I'm not saying that to like sound like a hard ass. You know, I just mean that this is just our truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists that like have a rap phase. Like
Right.
pop singers,
Right.
will just kind of come out like, what the hell? Like the fact that we let Miley Cyrus continue to have a career after she went through her like rap phase is insane. It's insane. It's like you're like robbing a culture for a minute while it's hot, and then you bail. Bieber, same thing. All of them. It's just like they touch on it, and then it's just like they're cool for a minute to get that kind of like rap credibility, like in a song like Wiz or Migos or something. And then it's just like, okay, I'm back to being a pop artist now. And then like, meanwhile, most people don't realize this, but then the black community's like, you know what I mean? Like we just, you know, like for a second, it's just like, not that they're really tricking anyone. It's like we didn't really think we had Miley on our side, but at the same time, it's just like another person had just kind of come in and used our culture for their gain and then bailed. And for us, it's like we actually came up in hardcore and in punk rock and in hip hop. So it's easy for us to do a tasteful. We're in that culture and it's in us, so it's easy. But that's why it's important to do it tastefully, because if you do it wrong, it's damaging and it burns people out.
Yeah.
I would rest a bird so that I can learn how to be the prodigal one. Pray for me, save me from what I have become.
I don't think we're an island of one. I just think that a lot of the artists who do it are lesser well known, but like there's a lot of underground hardcore and punk that this is all they talk about is what's current.
Yeah.
I think as far as like, and I'm not really surprised by bigger names not. It doesn't surprise me because it's a risk. It's like you risk losing fans, you risk pissing off your label, you risk numbers going. I mean, it's a risk. I get why they don't. And we've said before that we're not in a place where we want to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't sing about or do. But as far as us, personally, in our lives at this point, we can't see ourselves talking about anything else because it directly affects our daily lives. It's every single day. Not that it doesn't affect theirs, but for us, it's just like we've been in other bands, we've kind of like talked about it a little bit, not here and there. Like, I mean, and just we're at a point where this is what's most important to us. You know, Jason's got a family, you know, he's got a kid in life. It's like he wants to make the world a better place for his kid, you know. It's like, and one day I'd like to have a family as well, you know, and I want the same thing. So
You'd be such a good dad.
I hope
telling
so.
you, bro, I'm
I
telling
hope
you.
so, man. You know,
Telling
so
you,
we'll
man.
see. You know, but yeah. So it's just you know, I get it. It's a sign of the times, man. It's a scary thing. We speak up, people get pissed off, and nobody. It's easier not to piss people off and just make the money. But for us, it's like that's not what's important.
Yeah. Revolution don't pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that we are the revolution. That's another thing. This isn't self-aggrandizing. We're simply just advocates of something we think is already happening. And I think that might be another thing that bands feel intimidated by is that they feel as though they must be the revolution, which is not the case. The revolution it consists of millions of people or tens of people or hundreds of thousands, whatever it is, whatever you consider, whatever your gauge of your revolution is, people, it's beyond just a band. And I think that we understand that it's not something that you get into in order to make money or to be famous, because I think that in and of itself will negate the whole point and nullify what it is you're trying to do, because that becomes, again, too self-serving. So for us, man, like Steven said, there are plenty of people doing it, and we're just lucky enough to have the platform. But we understand that this isn't about us. You know, again, we're like, yes, we're writing music, and yes, we say what we say, but what about the people that are out there, you know, every day risking their lives just because of the color of their skin, just because of what they say and how they say it, without the luxury of, if something happens to us, people will know. There are people out there doing this every day. My neighbors, you know what I'm saying, people in my hood back in Inglewood that are speaking up and speaking out against so many injustices and social atrocities that are really risking it. Like, fuck being like famous and losing a fan. I'm talking about really risking it.
Yeah.
And we have to shout out to those people, because lest we forget, the only reason protest is here is because of those people to begin with. Before you could become famous for singing a protest song, there are people out there putting their lives on the line or dying for what they believe in. So don't get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate, and it goes deeper than what we're doing. And people should, if you really want to know what's going on, you could go start here. We would love to provide like a bridge between this and that, and then, but just know it goes deeper than this for sure. Yeah. Yo, thank you, Rockabilia, for having us and letting us pick out some ill-ass shirts from our eclectic musical palette. Appreciate it. Fever 333. Let them know. Fever coming.